Hello, Global Stars. Welcome to this Python full course part 7. So in this part 7 of this Python full course, we are going to be seeing how to create or build the patterns in Python programming. So in this, we are going to understand more about the Python loops. So if you want to know how to build patterns like what you've seen on the screen and more, Python patterns to build patterns like and understand how the patterns go about to build patterns like this, or patterns like this, like building a pyramid like this, that looks beautiful, right? Or or to build a pattern like this, or to build a pattern like this, you can look about it. They look like they're the same, they're different. Pattern like this, or to build a pattern like this, and so forth. There are so many we are going to see how to be able to build, to be able to understand how this thing works. But before we continue, please, if you're coming to this, you stumble on this channel for the first time, please don't forget to do what to subscribe to this channel. And when you subscribe, may you hit that notification bell to get notified whenever we upload new videos. And for all the Rockstar families, don't forget to keep a like in this video as you watch the video. Click the like button, the thumbs up to be able to like the video, to be able to so we can be able to build the algorithm of this channel. And also if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for, guys? Seriously, what are you waiting for? If you're not part of this channel, you just need to click the subscribe button to be able to subscribe to the channel. And when you subscribe, hit the notification bell and choose all, so that will be easy for you to get notified whenever we upload new videos. And also, you see the share button, just click on the share button and share with your friends, your families, your classmates, your colleagues, and also share it you can share it on all your social media platforms to be able to help us to grow this community. And while you're watching and you're practicing, please do keep a comment in the comment section below and tell me about your experience. And also, there's one thing you can do. If you have any problem, or you're walking, you have any problem on the way you're walking, you encounter any challenge, don't forget to get to me. Just keep a comment in the comment section, and through that, I'm going to get to you to share you an email where you can be able to get to me privately, or WhatsApp for us to be able to chat to help you to build whatever you're working on that you're having some problems. Again, and also make sure you watch this to the end, because to the end you're going to enjoy all through this. Don't be that person that is going to start from the beginning and will not be able to finish. And if you are still starting, if you're stumbling on this channel for the first time and on this video, please watch to the end. At the end, you're going to see an end screen. That end screen is a playlist of all the videos in this Python full course, so that you can be able to do what to join the community and be able to watch the videos and practice for free. So without further ado, let's go and continue building some patterns. Thank you, guys. Sit tight and let's go. So the first pattern we are going to be seeing how to build is this pattern. If you look, this is the pattern. The first one we are going to see is to build this pattern is how to build this particular pattern. So now, in order for us to build this particular pattern, if you look here, we are using the loops. So that's why I say you're going to understand more about your loops, and specifically we are using more of the for loop. It can be any loop depending on how you want to work with it. So if you look here, so you're using the loops to build patterns. So the first one we are having here, say for r in range. And if you don't understand what are loops, the part 6 of this video is what I explain everything about loops. And if you don't understand about range, go back and watch. You're going to understand about range. For now, we're only discussing how to be able to build the patterns. You get me? So I'm declaring. I say for r in, this is a variable. I say for, and we know that the for and the in and the range are special keywords. So you cannot use this to declare variables with them. No, they're special keywords. I explained this when we're dealing with strings. We're dealing with variables. In the past, we're dealing with variables and how to declare variables. All this we explained. So I think that is the part 3 or part 4 of this class. Go watch the video and it will help you to understand better. So for arc in range, I'm giving what? I'm giving the range. I say from 1 to 11. 1 to 11 means from 1 to 9, because we know from 1 to 10. Sorry about that. From 1 to 10. That is 1 to 11. It means 1 to 10. 1 to 10. This is the outer loop I've given. And I'm given an inner loop again. I'm declaring another inner loop. And in that inner loop, I'm saying for C in range, 1, I'm giving the range as 1. And then the next thing is arrow plus 1. Means that what I'm incrementing the range of this variable. This variable is holding what? 1 to 10. Now I'm incrementing, means that what? The first value for the inner loop is 1. And then what happened? And I'm saying that what? As it is going, as we are incrementing it, this value is incremented, means that from 1, I'm going to have now 1 plus 1, which is going to give me 2. And the next one will be 2. 2 plus 1 is going to give 3. Just like that. Isn't it for us to be able to build this particular thing to come about? And I'm saying, what is it I want to print? In as much as we are incrementing it, I want to printing from the inner loop. I'm printing that. I'm printing and following what I've declared, what I've given from the inner loop. I'm saying I want to print arrow into C. Means that what the variables, this variable, what this variables C is holding, and the arrow is holding, and the variable C is holding, depending on what we are specifying here in their range. I'm doing what? I'm multiplying them. And then the next thing I'm doing is I'm ending it with a tab space so that you're able to have space in between. Then I'm just pointing. You get it? I'm pointing the empty function. I'm in the print function. Let's run it again so you see how the code goes. So you see, this is it. So for the first time, the value we declared was 1. So from 1 to 10, we say 1 to 11, this is 1 to 10, isn't it? This is 1 to 10. And from there, we also start now doing the multiplication. That is where we start doing it. Now, after we say incrementing, because we say the inner loop, it is incrementing. So 1, we say 1 to 10, and it's incrementing. We are adding the values. And as we are adding the values, that is how it is going. That is how when we do this, we run this, we are going to get this pattern. It is beautiful, right? As we gave it that, the arrow into C. So it's multiplying it. It's just like how we are having a matrix, isn't it? It's very beautiful, right? This is how we can be able to use the for loop. We can be able to use this for loop to be able to, this for loop like this, if you want to build a pattern like this is how you're going to set your code. You're going to set the code like this to be able to get a pattern that looks like this. Hope this is clear. Let's move over to the next. So now you can see we are having a second piece of code here. This second piece of code, we are declaring a variable n, and that variable n, I'm passing an input function to it. An int function to it, and that int function is holding an input function where we are asking the users to enter the number of rows. Means that whatever they want to print, why tell me the number of rows that you want to enter. Like you're seeing in games, how you're playing games, they'll ask you to enter, or whatever the application you're using to enter a particular value. So I've explained this before to understand these various functions. Now I'm declaring the for loop. I say for I in range. Now I'm giving my range for I. The starting range I'm given is in the outer for loop. In the outer for loop, I'm saying the range is what is 1, and then to n plus 1. So it ranges from 1 to n plus 1. You get it? And the inner range, I say for j in range, the inner loop from j in range is what? 1 into I. Means I'm incrementing the first, this one. This variable that declared that we gave here, we pass here in this for loop. So I say for I plus 1. So it means that what this is the n plus 1, means that whatever they're entering, we are adding here, and whatever we are having there, they're adding here that we are having here, we are also incrementing it here. And I'm printing the value of the I, and I'm ending it. I'm ending it, printing the value of I. Let's run this piece of code and see how it goes. So I'm just running. So now what is it asking? It's asking us what? Enter the number of rows. Let me see. Let's say I enter my number of rows as, let's say I enter 5. I press enter. You see, it's giving me, this is it. Because anyone you enter, it is printed itself. Remember, it's adding itself to it. That is why you see the first value was 1. And then we have n plus 1. And it is n plus 1 also, we are also having I plus. We are having, it is the n plus 1. So we are having this format for both the inner and the outer loop. When we go to 3, you see we are adding also. You see, we are adding also. And you see, if I want to enter a change, I can rerun this. For example, if I collapse this and rerun it again, enter the number of rows, let's say 10. Oh, you have to click in here to put it. So number of rows I'm having here is 10. You press enter. So you see, this is it. Can you see how it comes out? It's beautiful, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, we have 10. So it depends on you, because n plus 1, meaning that it can increment to the number of times. It depends on you. What is your n? What is your I value? That depends on you. Whatever you want to have there, it depends on you. This is beautiful, right? So this is a pattern that we have just created. We have just built this pattern. And we have created this pattern is based on numbers. We can be able to create the same pattern based on what? On various things. We are going to see different, maybe for asterisk symbol. We can use the asterisk symbol to be able to build a pattern that looks like this. So we are going to see that as the class continues. So let's continue. So now, as I said we can be able to build that same pattern using the asterisk symbol. We're also able to build, or let's say the star symbol, or whatever you're calling, to build the same pattern. Maybe you want to build a pattern like this. You don't want to use numbers. You want to use just designs like this. To use this to come out to form a design. We want to form a design that looks like this in the same triangular format. This is just a right angle triangle, right? For us to be able to build a pattern that looks like this. How do we do that? This is how we can be able to do that. Look at the piece of code. We say we are defining here. What I'm defining, I'm starting it. I'm using the while loop in this situation. In this scenario, I use the while loop. We have been using the for loop. Let me use the while loop this time around. So I say I is equals to 1. Means I'm declaring. I'm first of all declaring and initializing that I value. That is 1. This is the first character here. I'm saying it is 1. Isn't it? I say while. Remember the while is going to execute. It's going to check the condition and execute the statement. So I say while I is less than or equals to 10. I want you to print this asterisk. You get it? I want you to print the asterisk symbol, which is of the I. I want you to be able to print it. So, and I'm incrementing the I, and I'm saying I'm incrementing it by 1. That is why the first one we are having 1. The incrementing it I plus 1. The first one we're having 1. Second one, when I take 1 plus 1 is 2. I'm having 2 asterisk. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5 until 10. Because we say less than or equal to, so means 10 is inclusive. 10 is included there, isn't it? So we are going to have from 1 to 10. That is going to give us. So that is why we are having it to build this beautiful shape that you're looking. This is just a simple piece of code that you need to work with. And this situation, we are given the starting value. We are not asking the users to give the value, but we are going to see a situation where we can be able to ask the users to also enter a particular number to give us the value where maybe their starting value where they want to start. Maybe they don't want to start from 1. They want to start maybe from another value. How can they do that? It's pretty simple. We are going to see a situation like that. We are going to see that. So this is just the only piece of code we have to write in order to be able to design a shape like this, to build a pattern that looks like this. So so this is the fourth one we are going to be seeing. Now, what is it that we want to do? We want to be able to print the reverse of the previous pattern we just see, the reverse of the triangle that we saw. We want to print the reverse of it. Let me run the piece of code and then before I explain it. So I want to print it like this. Instead of the triangle one, the triangle looks like it's upside down, isn't it? So this is a pattern that we want to print. So how to print this pattern? The first thing is say for arrow in reverse range. I'm using by the reverse range. Means that what I don't want it to give me the straightforward. It should reverse that particular range for that particular pattern for us. So I'm giving it as if from 1 to 11 means that is 1 to 10, isn't it? Then in the inner loop, I'm saying for a in range of, look at what happens. If you see the inner loop, we are minusing. We are minus means that word 1 to 11 means 1 to 10 and then minus arrow. It is minusing here, meaning that word we are trying to get the reverse of it. That is why it is having the minus. We are using the minus arrow. So we are printing now with the empty space. We are printing any because to be able to get the spaces in between, how we are having it. And then I'm declaring another inner loop. The inner loop again I'm given is a for C in range of 1 and you get it? Means that what? How it is from the beginning, from here, the end of it. How we are going up. And I say, print now with what? I want to print it with showing in what? Not in numbers, but in asterisk symbol. So I'm not using numbers. I'm printing in asterisk symbol, and I'm printing it. When I print it, that is why we are having it in a reverse. Hope this is clear. You can go. Just try to type the code for the sake of time. I'm trying to like save time to be able to not like I've already typed all this in between, so I'll be able to save time for you guys to be able to explain more for you to be able to understand. You get it, to save time so that we can be able to build the patterns easily. So, but make sure when you're working, you have to type the code. You have to type the piece of code. Type it and then try to understand how I did. Because if you look at the previous videos, I've been typing the codes. You get it? These are pretty simple things that are short and easy. So I just choose like, oh, it's okay. Let me just type and then we go ahead with the class for you to be able to understand. Okay. So type the code and practice. And if there's anything you're not having a problem, feel free to get back to me. Just keep a comment in the comment section and I'm going to contact you personally. We are going to talk and I'm going to help you out. Okay. So let's continue to see the next pattern that we are going to see on our list. So with this pattern, we want to be able to print. It's like repeating the same thing over and over. You get it? Repeating, for example, you see, if you are going in terms of row wise, we're having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on how many times you have specified. If you are going column wise, you're going to have 5 times the same thing. The same thing. So 1s, 2s, 3s, 4, 5. So if you want to print a pattern that looks like this, how are you going to do that? This is the format. So we have to declare, we have 2 loops to declare. I say for range, for arrow in range, I'm giving for 1 to 6. That's why I say you have to tell me your range. 1 to 6 means 1 to 5. If I say 1 to 10 is going to give me 1 to 9. If I say 1 to 11 is going to give me, we know about this. I already explained. And then the inner loop, I'm specifying, saying the inner loop for C in range, say 1 to 6. I've given the same thing. You get it? I said print now C and then ending now with the tab space. This backslash T simply means tab space. That is just all about it. You get it? And when we run this particular piece of code, we are going to have it in this format. That is how the pattern is going to look like, which is excellent, right? Clap for yourself. And as we are going forward, if you have not yet liked this video, please don't forget to keep a like on this video. Click that thumbs up to like the video to be able to build the algorithm of this channel. And if you have not comment this in the comment section, just click there and just type something. Just type, oh, great video, it's enough. Let me know you're watching. Or if you have not subscribed, subscribe. And when you subscribe, just type in the comment and say, I have just subscribed. So I'm going to personally get back to you. Thank you so much and share with others. Let's continue to see the next pattern. So in this next pattern, we want to print something that looks like this. There's a pattern we want to print. Look at the pattern. It's just like a matrix, right? We want to print something that looks like this. We see here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in between, if you look here, the inner one, look the inner matrix here. Just look from this 4, 6, 8, 10. Don't look here. Just concentrate on this square inside. Look, follow the mouse. This is where the logic is happening. So we have 4, 6, 8, 10, 6, 9, 12, 15, 8, 12, 16, and 20. And then we have 10, 15, 20, and 25. So we want to be able to do to print a pattern that looks like this. How do we do that? Yes, this is how we write the piece of code. Piece of code, we are going to work with that. Just a minute. So this is a piece of code we are going to be able to run. So say for R in range, I'm giving from 1 to 6, which is means I 1 to 5, isn't it? The range. I say for C in range, 1 to that, I'm printing. And now I'm printing the multiplication of both of them. The multiplication of both of them. And then I'm having an N. The tab space means that what this backslash T means is a tab space. I just need a space, a tab space for them, not for them to be congested. You get it? So I'm printing an arrow into C. And when we run it, that is why we're able to have the pattern like this. Both of them, this is the outer loop and the inner loop. So you see, arrow into C. We're having the multiplication. It's like a matrix. So you see, as it's multiplying, we are getting the values. We see 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 5 is 10, and 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 4 is 12, 3 times 5 is 15. The same goes for this. Also goes to 5. 5 times 2 is 10, and 3 is 15, and then 4 is 20, and then 5 is 25. That is how we are going to be able to have it. So it's beautiful, right? So for you to be able to have a pattern that looks like this is just a piece of code to be able to use. How simple and easy it is to have a pattern that looks like this. So let's continue to understand more about the pattern. So the next pattern we are going to be seeing is how to build a pattern that looks like this. This pattern, the pattern that looks like this. How do we want to build a pattern that looks like this? Is it beautiful? Yes, it's very beautiful and it's very easy for us to build this pattern. So for us to build a pattern that looks like that, the first thing we have is for I in range, we have what we are specifying the range. And so specifying the range. Now look at the way we are doing, we are giving it. If you look at the range here, I've given it, there are 3 things that I've given here. So I'm given how I want the range to be. If you see, look the beginning. The beginning, there are how many of them? There are 8. Look at it very well. 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm specifying it to be 8 at above. And then I'm saying that when it is going, it should be 1 minus. And as we are going, it should be 1 minus. Means that what? The second should be 1 minus. That is why you see 7, 6, 5, 4. So until it reaches what? It's going to reach 0. Until it's going to reach 0 that we have specified. That's the way I've given the range. You get it? So it minus until we reach there is going to stop. And the inner loop I'm giving say j in range is 1. And I'm doing what? I say I plus 1 because I'm incrementing the value of I. And as I'm doing that, and don't forget how the range is going for us to be able to get it. So I'm incrementing it from here. The value is y. 1, here 2. 1 plus 1 is 2. Like that 3, 4, 5 as we are going. The same way as we are coming from this side is minusing 1 and going. It's the same thing. Can you see how beautiful it is? And I'm using what? I'm using a asterisk symbol to be able to predict that, to push that, to be able to come out with this that looks like this. So can you see how beautiful it is? If you want to build a pattern that looks like this is just what you have to do. You just have to write a piece of code like this. So in your program, if you're working in a game or anything that you want a pattern, for some reason you want a pattern of how inside, I'm showing all the different formats because based on the application you're working on, based on what you're building, you should be able to know which pattern you best suit whatever you want to work with. Okay, so I hope you're enjoying the class. Let's continue to see more patterns. Yeah, I know most of you have been waiting for this pattern, right? To go to see how to build a pyramid pattern using maybe asterisk, depend whatever you want to use numbers, asterisk is your choice, depending you specify what you want to do with it. So you have been waiting to see how to build this pyramid like this pattern. Yeah, it is very, very easy. Let's try to see how we can build something like this. To build this pyramid is very, very easy. So if you look here, we have defining. So I have the outer for loop. And then for W in range, I'm giving the range that the range is from 1 to 10 means that what is 1 to 9, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 means it's 1 to 9. Then I'm given an inner loop. I said the inner loop, I'm declaring this inner for loop. I said the inner for loop X in range 110 minus W. You get it? Minus W. Means that if you see from where we are having here the first one, this is 9, minus W means that what? We are minusing as we are going for it to build a pyramid because the pyramid, it has to have a cone shape, isn't it? And then I say print, I'm printing it because I'm printing them with a space. And then the next thing is the next inner loop. I say for Y in range 1, and I say W plus 1. Because W plus 1, from here is W plus 1. Here is what is minus W. Minus W, and here is W plus 1. Because the W, we started W from 1, and here we're having W plus 1, means that it is adding 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2, 3 is adding and coming. While from down here, from the range X, we are having what? We are minusing W, means that what we are minusing. You see, from here is 9, here is 8, here is 7, here is 6, until we reach down up there. And then I'm printing with which character? With a asterisk symbol. That is what we are printing with. That is why we are able to have this shape, which looks so beautiful. You know, it looks so beautiful, right? This is the pattern we are having in this shape. How you want to build a pattern that looks like this, then it is beautiful for you to build just using this piece of code. You know, the piece of code is very, very easy. That is all you need to use. Okay, guys, hope you're enjoying the class. Let's move on to another. Now, this another pattern that is looking so beautiful is the F shape. And now I'm using the X, the cross, the X symbol, X symbol. I'm building an F shape. If you look at it, this is an F shape, right? Look at it very well. It's an F shape. So it means I'm building a symbol. I'm building a letter pattern. A letter pattern means I want to build a letter F using pattern. So this is how to build this. It is very, very simple for us to be able to build a letter pattern using this. So the first thing is that I'm declaring a number. I'm declaring this number. I'm just giving some patterns there. If you look at it, the first one is 5. The second one is 2. The third one is 5. The fourth one is 2, 2. Look at it. The first one is 5. The first one is 5. I'm giving how I want it to, because how the shape should be is the way the shape is going to be that I'm giving it. So then the second one is going to be 2 because it's an F. So normally for me to have this shape, I need to be able to do in that format. And then the third one again is 5. The fourth one is 2, 2, just like the letter F symbol, isn't it? That is how I want to build it. I say for X counts in numbers, X count in number, the output. So I'm giving it a space. I say for count in range, X count is counting it. And I say the output is incrementing what? Incrementing the X with a backslash. You get it, the tab space. I'm incrementing it with this tab space so that I can be able to have space in between to see the shape. And then I'm printing what the output. And look at where I'm printing it. Printing the output, so it's printing this output of it is giving us what is giving the F shape. Can you see how beautiful it is? How you can be able to make a figure. You can be able to print a pattern in the form of a letter. So you can maneuver this and be able to print for any letter you want to print. Whatever the application you're building and how you want to go about. This is just how you can use this piece of code, as easy as it is. Remember, these are just whatever I'm using here, I'm using this a variable because I first declare this variable and assign these values to how I want the shape to look like. I want my pattern to look like. Then I take a for loop and I'm taking another variable which is X count in the number because I'm giving the X symbol. X symbol is what I'm using. If you want to use asterisk symbol, you can use. If you want to use whatever symbol, you can use. But what I'm using is this symbol to build this shape, this particular pattern in this format. Okay. So that's it, guys. Let's continue to see more patterns to see how beautiful they go. Now, to be able to build the opposite of the pyramid, we saw how to build a pyramid. Now this is the opposite of it. If you want to build a pattern that looks like this, and how to go like this, how do we build it? Let's so we declare a for loop. We say for W in range. We are passing it. I've already explained this is the beginning. I'm saying I'm starting from 10. That is why you see from here is 10. I said 10. And then what I'm having is that 10 going down, I'm having one less. Can you see? One less. So it's coming from having from where I'm having. The way I'm passing it, I'm having one less. According to how I'm specifying it. You get it? The way I'm putting it. And I'm saying for X in range, for X in range 110 and then minus W. Look, for X in range 110 and then minus the W, minus this W. And then I say print, I'm printing this. Then I'm getting another for loop. I'm saying in this for loop, I say for Y in range 1, and I say 2 times W. That is why if you look at this, you see, look at it. This is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. This is what? 17. How we are putting it. And I say minus 1 plus 1. This is how I'm specifying it. That is why we are having it in this format. Because I'll just leave, if I've left it just like this, where is it again? I'm starting from 1 and we see for Y in range 1, which is the one I'm having here also. I say 2 times the W. You see 2 times the W. This 2 times W. 2 times 1 is what? Is 2. And I say then say W minus 1 and then plus 1 again. So it makes what? 3. Can you see? Because we are taking from down, it's upside down. So it has to go in this format. And I'm printing the asterisk symbol, I'm printing in this format. So for us to be able to have this particular output, this is how we are going to write the piece of code. As easy as understandable. Means that you can incorporate this in your particular project, whatever you're working on, to be able to see you want a pattern that looks like this, or in anything you're doing application, then you have to incorporate the code like this. Hope this is clear. So today we've come to the end of these patterns. For us to understand about pattern, there are more patterns out there for you to be able to learn. You know, learning never ends. If you want to know more, you have to let me know. But for today, for the class of today about patterns, I believe with this you can be able to, with all this I've told you, how I've explained, so this is how you can be able to build a pattern like this using a piece of code like this, as to what I've just explained. So it is very, very easy for you to understand. And we always have explained. So we have come to the end of this particular pattern to build our patterns in Python programming. You can learn more to understand. You can use the code I've given you. Everything, you can maneuver it. Looking at it, you can do whatever thing to get any shape that you want to get, any different pattern. That depends on you. What you want to do. Say learning never end. Try and then get to me if there's anything you're not getting well. Try to do as many as possible. Apart from what I've given you, do your own. And if you don't get it, you get back to me. Keep a comment in the comment section. And I'm going to get to you to understand and see how to help you. Okay. So without without saying too much, remember to keep a like on this video. We've come to the end of the class today. Subscribe to this channel, and when you subscribe, click that notification bell to get notified whenever we upload new videos. And also share with others, share with your friends, share on your social media platforms. And don't forget, click on this in the end screen. You see the end screen, just look up at this end screen as you're at the end of this class. You're going to see the playlist of this Python full course. So this is the part 7. So that if you haven't watched part 1, part 2, part 3 to part 6, before part 7 of this today, go and watch it so you'll be able to flow with us to get to the end of the class. To understand this, at the end of this, we are going to be building projects. You are going to be, because while building those projects, you should be able to understand everything about the Python. So that when you're building a project, you know what comes next. And when I'm calling things, I'm explaining things, I'll not go and explain again that for loop is this, or this is this variable is this. No, because that time we are building projects, you already know all these things because you have followed the full course. Now I am just using them now to incorporate them together to build different projects for us to be able to see and be able to learn, to understand very well. So that is it for today, guys. So see you in the part 7 of this, or the part 8 of this Python full course that is coming up, and you're going to be seeing the Python functions part 8 of it is all Python functions, and don't dare to miss. Do all to go to get into this, to go to get into this, to understand everything and flow with us. Thank you very much, and see you in the part 8 of the class. Thank you. Bye-bye.